Hey guys, what's going on? Today, I want to kind of do a response to one of the commenters on one of my videos. And it's not in a negative way, it's just I want to explain my channel and explain what I'm doing. And he made a very good point on my laid back jack video that he thought, in his opinion, the price was way too high for what you got for that knife. And you know what? Probably is. But I want to explain a little something. What I have here on this piece of paper is I'm going to explain to you first the curve of diminishing returns. And what the curve of diminishing returns demonstrates, that as your price goes up, your quality can only go so high, and then it levels out, and then it forms a curve. So say if we're talking in tens of dollars to thousands of dollars, and quality being super poor, and that could be manufacturing, it can be materials, because you can take the best of materials and make a shitty knife. I've done it. I've bought them. I know it can happen, and you can take the worst of materials and make a fantastic knife. Really, it's possible. Quality still won't go to 100, but it's still good. And you can charge too much or too little for both. Because I've done it. I've owned, I can't even explain to you guys how many knives I've owned. I wish I would have never threw away my old videos. They'd be up in the thousands by now, and I've owned tons of knives from all different companies, from all around the world, from all kinds of makers. Anyway, so quality can go from 0 to 100%, which means it is absolutely perfect, and it's just amazing, right? And then, so the curve of diminishing returns goes like this. So as you go up in price, and say they go up to $60 knife, $70 knife, $80 knife, $100 knife, $200 knife, $300 knife, $400 knife, and you get that. And you may not even get this, because that can be questionable. Some companies, their quality is not as good as their price, that's for sure. Some companies, their quality is really good, but their price is way high, and that's when you get up in here, and you start losing that. You start losing the returns. You start losing it. You know, I would say, in my opinion, in the knife world, from about $60 to about, I'm gonna say $200 is probably your biggest climb in quality, and you get your biggest returns. That's just my opinion. Some people can tell you different. I've never owned a knife that costs over $550, so I don't know. But I've owned a lot in that price range, and I've owned some that were valued at more than that, because that's something else we're going to discuss, but we're not that price. So the next thing I want to discuss is, that happens a lot in the knife world especially, is exclusivity. Exclusivity. That happens when you have a knife brand that makes a knife, because it happens a lot in knives, and it retails for a certain amount, but then immediately the resale value goes through the roof, and all of a sudden it's just crazy. And that happens a lot with these guys right here, Great Eastern Cutlery. I posted a video not too long ago. I was trying to get a Barlow from Great Eastern Cutlery, saw cut bone. I waited till the time that was a release at like noon Eastern or 11 Eastern or something like that, or 2 Eastern, and it was 11 o'clock Western time. So 11 o'clock, I actually clocked out of work, went to my vehicle, sat on my phone, waited for the clock to tick down, boop, boop, boop. Got one, got it in my cart, and that certain dealer was charging $195 for a Barlow knife, from Great Eastern Cutlery, and that same exact Barlow, which was unbeknownst to me, at the same exact time was being released all over and was actually being released for $85. So he was already charging double what the price was from the factory. So $85 Barlow automatically going to $195, and then I didn't get one. I got it in my cart. I went to check out and it was gone. And whatever, that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. I'm not trying to be angry about it or anything else. That's just the way GEC is. That's how they operate. I don't like it. I don't think it's really fair. I don't understand why they don't like to make money. Like, I don't understand. If I own GEC and I knew my knives were as popular as they are, I would slowly but surely over the years try to ramp up production to meet the demand. But right now the demand is way over what they produce at GEC. So getting one is close to impossible. 5 seconds, those knives were sold out, gone. 5 seconds. Just on that website. And they were gone on all the rest of the websites. By the end of the day, I couldn't find one anywhere. So, whatever. But here's the thing with the GEC. Here's a GEC, is this the 38? I think this is the 38. I gotta zoom in here. My old man eyes. Yeah, this is the 38 from GEC. And this is the French Broad Jack from Rosecraft Cutlery. And I'll tell you right now, this one is better made than this one. It just is. The frames are milled out of one piece. The spring work is fantastic. The spring cuts on both ends are fantastic. The pole is a little bit tighter. The bone is every bit as nice. The fit and finish is every bit as nice. It's got D2 steel. This has 1095. D2 is going to hold the edge longer, etc., etc., etc. There's a whole bunch of reasons that this knife is better. I don't know what these knives are reselling for now. I'm not going to say that this knife is worth anything close to a TC Barlow. I'm sure I could resell this knife for $100 probably, maybe $80, maybe to $100. And this resale value on this knife, I think I paid $53 for, and I could probably resell it for $45. Because these aren't exclusive. These aren't something that people are trying to buy and collect as much as this. But the quality of this is every bit as good as that. But that leads to the other thing that draws us away from the curve of diminishing returns is supply and demand and exclusivity. People will go out of their way to buy that just because it's a GEC, but they won't for this yet. I mean, who knows? This company's supposed to be coming to the United States someday, and they're kind of just starting out, and their popularity's grown, and there may come a time where you can't get any more of these either. I think these are really close to being sold out. This is their Beaver Creek Barlow by Rosecraft Blades, and this is every bit as good as a number 15 from GEC. Guarantee it. Every bit as nice. The bones is just as nice. The transitions are just as nice. The blade grind is fantastic. And it's better steel, D2. Great pull. Great walk and talk. Excellent. Excellent. But because this is a higher demanded knife from GEC, you'll never get one from GEC unless you go online. I saw those exact same Barlows because they had the blade markings on them that were bought the day before, and I saw them on eBay for $420. I saw a completed sale of one of those Barlows, and I saw some for as high as $600. So, and no quality difference, definitely. And the quality of this knife is not close, in my opinion, to the quality. I mean, this is just a higher quality knife. higher quality handle material, higher quality steel, higher quality manufacturing. It just is. But this knife is $300. And people say, oh my God, that's way too much. And you know what? Maybe for you it is too much. And I'm not trying to sell you a $300 pocket knife. And if you think it's ridiculous, I totally respect your opinion on that, because a lot of people think that my knife purchases are ridiculous. But I buy them anyway because I like them. I like them a lot. I really like this one. This one's amazing. But you don't want to spend it on that? Awesome. That's one of the great things about the knife world. You can go and get this Rough Rider, which is also every bit as good as GEC quality, every bit as nice as their Viper. I've owned lots of Vipers, and this is every bit as nice. For 30 something bucks, 38 bucks, 40 bucks, something like that. Crazy. Crazy. When I got this knife out of the packaging, I was stunned at how nice it was for the price, and thought to myself, holy crap. I've been paying, I think my first Viper cost me $175 because I had to buy it on the secondary market because they were sold out and you couldn't get them from GEC. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. I'm not trying to sell anything. And knives are that way. Knives are just that way. Probably my most expensive folder that I own is this one right here. Although I didn't pay full price because I got it on a sale, but the full price when this knife came out was $450. This is the React Wave. It's got all this really nice micro milling. It's got these milled inlays, full titanium backspacer, full titanium pocket clip, steel insert. And when this knife came out, it was top of the line, M390 steel. It was top of the line. There was guys who were doing videos comparing it to Shirogorov knives. And this compared every bit to a Shirogorov except for thickness of blade. This is thicker. Oh, and a lot of people didn't like that lanyard thing on the back. And I don't blame them. But I saw this knife and fell in love with it. Is it worth $450? I don't know. I got this knife for around 50 bucks. Not as high quality materials, of course. It's not titanium. But it's got every bit of the, probably better action than this knife does. Super good ergonomically. Has great jimping. 154 cm steel, thinner behind the edge. Nice deep carry pocket clip, and no big ugly lanyard nub off the back. And this one's only 50 bucks. But we're talking pocket knives. They're like cars, you know. I can buy a Kia and pay half the price that I would pay for a high-end Toyota and have every bit as nice a car. But the Toyota may last a little bit longer, might be just a little bit better quality, might have just a little better warranty, I don't know. But that's just the way it goes. But that's why, and so that's why I come to this. On my channel, I really try to show overpriced knives. I totally admit that knife is way overpriced. $260 is way too much money for that little tiny knife and its materials. And I try to show budget knives to try to please two groups. I'm not trying to convince you to buy anything. Here's a kind of a good comparison right here. 30 bucks. It is a lockback. Carbon fiber, Wharncliffe blade, Brother knives. Steel is not super great. HCR 14 MOV, it's not terrible. Carbon fiber. Not a lockback. Wharncliffe blade. Has some more, a little more fancy milling and stuff on it, but carbon fiber, $150. But I'll say, and I have a video coming up on this, I kind of think that you get more, definitely more value than you do for this $300 knife. But it's a different knife. It's different. And right now, at this point, this is a Monterey Bay knife. This is the only one they have, and they have one in all mother of pearl, which, man, I hope they have those in stock for a while, because that's going to be my next purchase. Because this thing is mind-bogglingly good. But I got a video coming about that. But I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything. I'm not trying to sell anything. I pay for all my knives. I don't get any products given to me like other reviewers do. And I'm not knocking other reviewers, because if you want to send me a knife, if you're a knife company and you want to send me a knife to review, I'll review it. I'll give it, you know, an honest review. I had a friend of mine pay like over $200 for this knife, or almost $200 for this knife at a gift shop. And it's gemstones, it's gem quality, but it's not. I don't know if it's actually worth what she paid. I don't even know what the blade steel is. They don't even say on the website, but I love it. It's beautiful. That there again, this is like a collector piece or whatever, something that just probably, you know, they probably make these and don't even think anybody's going to really use them. They're going to put them in a display case or whatever and look at them. So, and that's the other thing with knives. Some guys are users, some guys are collectors. I collect and use. I do both. Some guys collect them and they just stick them in a case and they show them off once in a while. Some guys don't even bother with all this business. All they want to do is use knives, and so all they buy are budget knives or whatever, and they take them out and beat the heck out of them and do videos about it. And that's all good. That's all good. All good. I don't have any opinion any certain way. I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I give my thoughts on a knife. I know for a fact that this knife right here, in my opinion, yes, it's worth the money. And I know for a fact that this knife is going to outlast me the rest of my life, and probably my son's life or my grandson's life, because that's who these are going to go to next. And they're probably going to last them all of their life as well. They'll never sharpen this edge down to nothing, because the steel is super high quality, where like this 1095, you can sharpen it down to the point where your knife is useless. Yeah, it's an heirloom quality knife. It's going to last a very, very long time. And yeah, they're expensive. Are they worth it? Well, you can go and you can pay and get this one for $36 and probably maybe get just as long a life out of it. And fit and finish is just as nice. It's just as pretty. It's just as pretty as that one. Don't you think? Definitely material differences, but made just as well. So, yeah, there you go. There's my thoughts. Sitting there looking for a lock back on that knife, and there is none. That's my thoughts on diminishing returns and how it affects knife collecting, and how prices, I mean, it's all about you. It's all about you. It isn't about me. My opinions are my opinions. You can form your own opinions. I'm not gonna, you're gonna see very few knives that I'm gonna review, especially once it gets over a certain price range. Like, I'm not gonna spend $300 on a knife that I can look at and know that I'll hate. Just to do a review that says I hate it. So you're probably gonna see mostly good reviews on those kind of knives. Some of the more budgety knives, probably not. Probably not. I get rid of a lot of budgety knives and just give them away and stuff, because I have good user knives, high quality user knives, and I want to spread the love around and get people involved in the knife world. And it's easier on my budget to buy a crappy budget knife and say, hey, this is a piece of crap, than it is for me to spend $200 and say, hey, this is a piece of crap. That's just the way it is. I don't have a Patreon or anything else where I've got money coming in for knives. So anyway, that's 20 minutes of me babbling on. I hope I get my point across. I love comments like that. Please comment, please like, please subscribe, follow my channel, follow me on Instagram. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Get your kids, turn off the television. Toad Sticker out.